Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to your Owarimonogatari. So now on episode 11 to 12 of Owarimonogatari. So, what happened on the last episode, episode 11? That is a great question. Before we even get into that, if you can't already tell by the way I sound, your boy's a little bit under the weather. I've been freaking slammed with a cold for like the last couple days. It's also almost Thanksgiving, by the way. Happy Thanksgiving. Well, okay. Well, actually, by the time this comes out, it will have already been Thanksgiving, but like, it hasn't been Thanksgiving yet. Okay. Anyways, your boys had a cold for a couple days, all right? The nasally tubes are congested, the head is aching a bit, and if I start coughing, that's why. Which is I'm mostly saying that just so, like, if I start going, then that's, that it is what it is, all right? Now we're all on the same page with that. Oh, yeah, there it goes, right? And then also, yeah, so we're also gonna be just probably taking this one a little bit easy. We'll just kind of see where it goes, though. Yeah, that's where we're at there. What happened on the last episode? Now that's a more related question to the Monogatari viewing. Last episode we're still yapping with Gon, though Gon's now left to go meet with Episode, so she's Gonzo. A important part of that was understanding more of where the first was and like incarnated from. In that he was within the shrine, or like his ashes had drifted in the wind to the shrine, kind of like effed up the shrine and it's like the protection that it had going on, the spirit that was there. Shinobu comes in to follow it, like is attracted to the city to follow those ashes. And Homeboy was just chilling in there, right? And then later, when Araragi and Shinobu time traveled, that is when he saw them. He saw like Shinobu, or like his closeness to Shinobu like activated him or whatever, and he started like cooking, something like that. He's also just chowing on oddity spirits to gain his strength back, and has now obviously by the end of the episode fully incarnated in the flesh. That's what I titled the episode. Let me just boom get it out. He is fully incarnated in the flesh, and is now talking to Araragi in the middle of a bookstore while Araragi's holding Boys Love and MILF magazines. Which is about how the show goes. That's really just how it is sometimes, right? Man, it is funny though that the whole Araragi MILF thing is so funny to me. It's like he's like, yo, guess who's grown up now, baby? I don't like children, I like MILFs. Like, okay, dude. I don't know, it's just funny. What a guy. You know what? I like MILFs too. Can we all just get on the same page? I appreciate a good MILF, okay? I actually think that is it underrated? I don't know about underrated, but like, yeah. I get Araragi, good move. With Gon though, bad move. Gon is not it. I'm drinking my unmarked black liquid. You can also have some. There you go. Yummy. Get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. Comments wise, we got a couple of things here. I'll just kind of top to bottom this one real quick. So audio commentaries is something I've heard about before. I haven't looked at any of them yet. Maybe we'll look at a couple of them like after we finish, like Monogatari, right? Like, or like the anime that's out, because like I don't know if we want to be intersplicing audio commentary stuff into like the current stuff. But if there's a couple good ones, I'd be open to look at those later. Because Gon Odin connection is kind of funny. I only somewhat get that, but I think I somewhat get what you mean. It is funny. We had a little bit of a conversation in the Discord the other day. Shout out the Discord. About Gon's like how like what it means that she knows everything. Where there was like it was kind of called into question and made me consider like, does she actually know everything, or does she just know or rather, what is the nature of her all-knowingness, right? Is it that through some sort of, I don't know, oddity-esque power, blah, 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 that she actually has some level of, like, semi-omniscience? Or is it perhaps that she is just so so tapped into the knowledge networks of the area that, like, for all intents and purposes, she knows everything, even when in reality she only like is just really, really good at gaining and interpreting and extrapolating off of information, and that makes it seem like she knows everything when in reality she just only knows what she knows kind of deal, and she's just whatever, right? Which is an interesting question. Up to this point, I've kind of treated her almost like in my head, more closer to an oddity kind of thing, where it's like she straight up just knows an unfathomable amount of things, and I haven't really thought about like how. But when thrown that question out, I was like, okay, maybe she actually, like, I think it would probably be closer to she just has an like incredible amount of like a network kind of established. And we even saw in the last episode, there's a moment where she like pulls out like a timeline thing on her phone or whatever, on like on an iPad or whatever, and like scrolls through it, and there's a bunch of like timeline stuff, whatever, which is like, dude, she literally is taking in extensive notes about the timeline, right, of the timeline of events. Like, if she knew everything in some sort of omniscient crazy like brain power way, then it would all be in here. She wouldn't have to be putting it down, right? But her putting it down and note taking, I think, is an indicative of her doing, like, her having knowledge not through some sort of crazy, you know, other supernatural method, but rather just extremely proficient like interpretation and understanding, right? So that's kind of interesting. For the crazy thing though is, even with that other kind of viewing, like if we kind of take that as like how she knows everything, what does that change? You know, like she still functionally knows everything. You know, it's just Aragi's hard to predict still, right? Like he's one of the few things that like she doesn't have the best interpretive like hold on. But that could still be built into some sort of like he's just supernaturally built different or whatever, right? If we didn't look at it that way at all. So it's an interesting that's an interesting question. And I think it's kind of like I've definitely run through it a bit. But it is still funny that for all intents and purposes, like what's the difference? Like Loki. But yeah, I mean it could be very important at one point down the line. For sure. And throw in like the word supernatural at things that don't actually have supernatural is kind of like maybe a misplay, but also like that is a very monogatari thing to do. To call something supernatural when it's not supernatural as a way to like cope with it. Whoa! I am a monogatari. Okay. The YouTube hiding certain comments, that does sometimes happen. I don't have power over that. You know, this is why I've said before, like always, like if you write a big, like a juicy comment, put it in a separate doc so that if it doesn't show up for some reason, you can paste it again. Sometimes for some reason, when I sort it by top comments, it doesn't show all the comments, which is weird. So sometimes I have to flick it, or like I have the setting off so there's no banned words or whatever, you know. Or like a moderator can take them down, but like I don't think any got taken down for like the last couple episodes. So sometimes YouTube is just weird, and comments either don't go through or just get shadow banned, and like nobody knows why. We've had that happen before, but it is what it is. I don't know what, you know. Rip that. This is obviously a pretty chunky little lad here. This part here is about Hachikuji. This part, well, it kind of starts with Hachikuji and then goes into some other stuff at the end. This part here is other stuff. To start with the Hachikuji thing, the Hachikuji discussion has been, this is the sequence of events, right? We know right before this arc, Araragi lost Hachikuji, and so everything in this arc obviously is really connected to that, and so that made me go, okay, dang, let me go into like, how does Araragi feel about Hachikuji? Let me like try to get into some of that. And then this last episode's Hachikuji time segment was because somebody was like, your inner child thing, like, what's up with that? Which made me go like, okay, well, we have to figure that out, right? So we've kind of tangented down a rabbit hole a little bit with Hachikuji. But yeah, so that's where that comes from. Labeling it confusion is I think with like media analysis, I'm a big fan of constantly like returning it over in your head, you know? Where like I don't like getting locked into one like lane of thinking, right? Where instead it's like we're pushing forward through the narrative, but like we're constantly zipping back and recontextualizing and zipping back and giving a new perspective, right? Which is why like currently I've had that whole like how like this perception of Hachikuji and like Shinobu and etc. as ways that Araragi is coping with his like sense of justice and like sense of self breaking apart. So it's like they're kind of like, that's how they're used. And that conception of them, I'm like finding to like have some like juicy stuff for my brain. And so yeah, I'm like that kind of like constant recycling and recirculating. I think that's just kind of part of how I like look at media, and I think it's a pretty effective way to do it. The only reason I'm even saying any of that is that like I think confusion has like a a connotation that is different than the very intentional revisiting that I'm kind of trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, where it's like I don't want to get locked into like one train of thought or whatever. Though I do still agree with like I do especially agree with a lot of the stuff in the beginning here. There was a really good line right here. At the same time, it's also the only part of this is talking about Araragi's concept of Hachikuji. At the same time, it's also the only part of him that gives him a break from his endless self-deconstruction, keeping his mental health from deteriorating completely by despising and loving him just enough to make the relationship believable to him in a playful way, to satisfy both his self-loathing and his narcissism, blah, 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 blah. Narcissism is a word I don't really know how I would attach that to Araragi, because it's kind of a crazy term, that I don't know. That's besides the point. I'm not going to worry about that term right now. But it's I'm so sorry. We're fine. But this thing of Hachikuji giving him a break, giving him an escape from this doom spiral that he's been on, I think is super accurate. Like I would definitely agree with that being like what she's used for. I mean, especially in that I always forget the name of this arc. The one where Hachikuji leaves, right? The one where Hachikuji dies, where Shinobu and Ononoki and Hachikuji are all hanging out with Araragi. Is that Oni? I think that's Oni. I don't remember. But that one, I feel like he just like, there would be a bunch of like crazy energy coming from Ononoki and Shinobu, and he would just go play with Hachikuji, you know, where he's like, I don't want to deal with that. Hachikuji time! You know what I'm saying? And so Hachikuji to me has always been like, or to Araragi, I've always perceived as like an escape hatch for him in a lot of ways. And I think applying that to his like doom spiral that's coming from his, you know, you want to self-deconstruction, I think is a term that I quite like with Araragi. I think that like really, really works, right? Some of this other stuff, calling it his inner child, his innocence, his self-indulgence, his fixation on young girls that accompanies his aversion to growing up. I find that to be quite interesting, because she honestly is the like young girl that's, you know, treated like a young girl by Araragi the most, right? His fixation with Hachikuji is like the most extreme out of like any of the characters, I feel like, because he's like doing that to her constantly, right? Damn, Araragi really do be doing that. That's the crazy thing. But yeah, so applying that to like that he's thrown that into like Hachikuji's like how he treats Hachikuji, his concept of Hachikuji, etc. I quite like too, and that being tied to his aversion to growing up. So yeah, I liked that specifically. The thing which prevents him from moving forward, getting to where he's meant to be, going home. Yeah, so a lot of that. A lot of this stuff in the kind of middle here is like is commentary on a lot of like the stuff we've already seen, like, you know, some like Nisei 1 stuff, Maoi Snail here. And so I did like read through all this. I don't have those episodes up, so like I don't really have much to like say on them. And honestly, a lot of my Hachikuji scene memory is kind of weak, you know, which is so weird. Like I feel like I every time I see her character, I get so excited, but I actually like, I feel like out of a lot of characters, she's kind of maybe one of the weaker ones in terms of how much I remember what she's said before, which is something I was talking about 2 episodes ago, you know. So I don't have like a ton to like respond to or like add on off of those. The realizing the death of the child, you know, I mean, I quite like that with Bake, or with the Bake Snail, because she's like, she ends up being dead. That's the big twist, and then him clinging onto the corpse of his innocence is like, I think, very strong imagery that I quite like as well. So I quite like those. And then we get into like some of the big, this is kind of some of the big overarching things for like this interpretation, right? So a lot of that, like, you know, basically thumbs up emoji. Was there anything else I wanted to say on this? And then it says like, you know, what? Ononoki coming into the house at the end of that one arc. Yeah. So pog. But yeah, a lot of this, rewatch value real. I'm just gonna move on. Can you tell that the brain fog from my little sicky sick is getting to me? It is what it is. And man, because I'll say this real quick. I was literally, before recording, Dude, the YouTube comments feature in the Creator Studio is so OP because I can literally search through every comment I've ever received with like a keyword. So I just typed symbology, and then it was like, well, which has to do with this here, some of this here stuff. I just typed symbology and was rereading some of like comments about Monogatari about symbology that people have talked about before. It's freaking OP, bro. But yeah, okay. The second part, which is more attached to the current arc that we're watching. Symbology of locations. So this I found to be a pretty interesting like leading question where it's like try to relate the events surrounding the shrine to Araragi and his connection to Shinobu and her first minion. I mean, I feel like low-key almost every single event surrounding the shrine has been very directly something that's happening with Shinobu and Araragi or the first minion's just been there like the entire time, you know? So like in a like a straightforward way, like or like in a what would the word be, like not meta narrative, like in a normal narrative sense, I almost just want to say all of the above, you know, where it's like and there's like I really like this interpretation too. I'll get to this in a second, where it's like the guy's literally chilling, his ashes are in the shrine being chilling. Shinobu unconsciously is like drawn there from that, and then we have like the whole Araragi putting the Oshino charm to kind of like suppress that, and then he gets starved out, and then, well, man, something like Ogi, bro. Ogi, what was Ogi yapping about with the shrine? I don't quite remember what Ogi was yapping about, but yeah, in a more like direct sense, I just want to say like all of the above, right? Where he's been in there, like the time travel, he's watching from the shrine, etc. the entire time, and that gives him like well, I don't know if frick. Okay, Kambaru said something. Let me relook at what Kambaru said real quick, because it was, I don't remember if Kambaru said something, but then she was wrong, and I don't remember if I'm saying what Kambaru was saying or what was actually said. And Ononoki was supposed to clean the shrine, but then didn't clean the shrine because she got distracted by Araragi. Ononoki, stop getting distracted by Araragi. But yeah, okay. Kambaru. Oh my goodness, where is it? Kambaru, please. Yeah, okay. Let me just rewatch some of this real quick. We're like, yeah, Oshino had the stopgap with the seals that starved out the first guy, first minion. Araragi was the one that put the seal on. So that, you know, is an attachment of Araragi to that situation, obviously. But then, okay, so he did see her. And this was when y'all traveled back in time, right? Or no, or was that the start of Bake? Oh my goodness, that's my issue. Wait, what time did this happen? Because we do talk about the time travel backwards. But I don't know if this was the time travel or if this was Bake. I mean, I could literally, or does it even matter? I mean, no. I don't think it matters at all. But I could look at his, like, clothing in those episodes and, like, figure it out. But, like, it probably doesn't even matter. It's a bunch of time travel mumbo jumbo, low key, right? Like, I don't know how much the logistics, well, the logistics probably somewhat matter, but that was the first time. Okay, so that was Bake. And then him being near, but he sees her, the proximity gives him the boost, but he doesn't revive until like a bunch of years later. Wait, no, that's why I'm confused. I actually don't understand this. Because, like, okay, he doesn't revive for a long time. Because he revived 15 days ago. It boosted him. What did the boost do? Gon? When Yotsuki attempted to fulfill her mission. Now we're talking about Yotsuki? Oh, she was already out of there. You should understand what I want you to do now. You, like, didn't even answer the question. Wait. You're just... What does the boost to an oddity mean? Wait, okay, so he was gone. But that doesn't... He was out of the shrine. Okay, he was out of the shrine. But when you say that this was the first time Shinobu had seen the shrine, oh, because Bake, Shinobu wasn't attached to Araragi in Bake. So whenever Araragi showed up, oh, I think that's where I was getting confused. Okay, now listen to me. This is the situation. Back in Bake, Araragi pulls up to the shrine like Sengoku freaking snake time. Whatever. Shinobu's not there. Because Shinobu's hanging out with Hoshino. So that's not the first time that Shinobu has seen the shrine. Because she says here, this is the first time that Shinobu is pulled up to the shrine is when he saw her. And that's when the two of them did. Was this their time travel? I think it was their time travel, right? Because my mental map right now is as follows, right? 11 years ago, in the back in time, Shinobu and Araragi go back there. That's when he sees them and gets the boosta, gets out of there. That's the using up of all the bad energy. And then, bada boom, bada bang, he's outie. Period. And we didn't know he was even there, so we didn't even know he left. We just were we were saying it was all the bad juju in the air. Right? And then Kambaru starts running and doing a pole vault, which is like, okay, Kambaru, I'm glad. Yeah. Okay. Let me, though, and we know the spirit thing, so the Ash just pulled up that ruined the place, that made the shrine fall into disrepair. Let me just listen to this, because I think she's about to talk about the 11 years ago thing, right? Okay, right here. Did you recall the even more dilapidated state the shrine was in when you time traveled to 11 years ago? Right. Because it's gotten more and more cleaned up as those 15 years have gone by. And the 11 years ago, yeah, it was because he wrecked the place. Was meant to control the location. That's something interesting as well. Meaningless without a spirit enshrined here. Real. Cause one thing that Gon has said. Well, no, I don't want to get distracted. Blah 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 blah. 11 years ago, when he visited the shrine, there was a bunch of the juju. They gathered here because of him. In his ashes. Oh no, so did that woke him. Okay. What happens, Araragi? He attracted them and started eating them. Yeah. So, okay, guys, we're gonna get it. 15 years ago, his ashes pull up. Ruin the shrine. Shrine's in disrepair. Not good. 11 years ago, we time travel back. Why did we throw time travel into this show, man? I thought they were just doing that, like, back when we watched it, I was like, oh, they time travel, like, at least it's self-contained, so I don't have to worry about it. Now it's not. Now it actually matters. And that's so, like, bro. Okay, but whatever. 11 years ago, we time travel back. That's why the place was in such disrepair. The man's just chowing on spirits. Having a good time. Having a ball. And then Shinobu pulls up. The question I have is very specific. When does Shinobu pull up? Oh, man, am I going to have to, like... I might have to just, like, pause the video. Okay, got it. We're good. I found it. Okay, read this. Read this with me, real quick. So, Oshino seals the place up. All I know is that he had some stopgap maneuvers in place with the seals he had available. We're talking about Oshino, right? As a result of his actions, first Kim began to starve, and then this changed. Gone. Speak up faster now. Okay, so the man gets starved, back to a minimum of self-awareness, then he sees Kiss Shot. Then he sees Shinobu. So, and then we get the little flashback. So this is when they're pulling up to the shrine later. This doesn't have anything to do with the 11 years ago. The reason I got confused about that is because look at this. Araragi throws out a whole like, wait, is it our fault because we used up the bad energy in the air pocket? He says something like that, right? Like back here. Oh my goodness, so much yapping. He's like, oh, it's our fault. What the heck? Does it have to do with the fact that we used all the energy in the air pocket? Did it have to do anything to do with the fact that Shinobu and I used all the bad things in this air pocket? And with the time travel, right? Or isn't that what you're referring to here? Araragi. My sweet little Ararag. That were imprisoned here by Oshino's seals. Yeah, because you used it to travel back in time. So it wasn't when... Perhaps it was when you traveled back in time, but that wasn't when you were back in time. Okay. Because, yeah. I thought we had, like, gone back in time and hoed it up. No, okay, so we're good now. So, they pull up to go back in time. They use up all the bad energy. But little do they know, Shinobu's sweating, little do they know, just by being there, in the same business, in the same room as the first, whether they know it or not, that has boosted his strength, which then has given him the kick up to, like, to revive. Okay. So the whole 11 years ago thing, that was just dumsy bumsy. We don't gotta worry about that. I'm not even sweating about that. Freaking time travel, man. I hate time travel. Okay. No, we're good on that now. Why did I even start talking about that? Oh, yeah, because the events surrounding the shrine to Araragi and his connection to Shinobu and her first minion. So, yeah, they show up to go back in time as a way... Well, yeah, they show up to go back in time. Unintentionally, they activate, funnily enough, like the trauma of the past, which is ironic because they're trying to go back in time. Wait. Yeah, they go back in time to... Oh my goodness, I just got confused with time travel. They go back in time to save Hachikuji and then come back forward in time and then the world's a mess. And so they have to undo that. Okay. Because I was thinking they go back in time, but what about having to go forward in time again? Oh my goodness. Okay. Don't worry about it. We're fine. But yeah, so they go back in time to do that thing. Unintentionally, though, by doing this action of going into the past... to save Hachikuji, to do that fool's errand, unintentionally, they've activated the Shinobu trauma issue. I use the word trauma because of this next comment. So, yeah. Boom. You saw a quick... Okay, yeah. Boom. Then, other stuff. So, we're good on that now. Sorry. This show get crazy. There are so many fires to put out with trying to, like, parse through this show. It is what it is. Okay. Other stuff. The Araragi's trying to construct this whole grand reveal thing about the first as a way to deflect responsibility because it appeals to his narcissism, blah, blah, blah. Deflect responsibility where it's like, oh, it was him all along. I think that's accurate. Well, yes, but is it not true? Like, okay. Think about it this way. He shows up here. His ashes are here. I guess, could we maybe ask why his ashes came here? Was it just the wind that carried them? Or was it Araragi in the first place? Or is it even that connected? Because, like, I might even want to say that, like, Araragi, as a presence of an oddity dude, is what magnetized the first ashes to come to this town, and then that brought in Shinobu, whether she knew it or not, which then attached Araragi to Shinobu. Oh, no, but that wouldn't make any sense, because that was way in the past. Okay, I'm stupid and a fool. But, okay. Cool. Because, yeah, Araragi hadn't become a vampire yet, and the ashes were in the past, so that doesn't make sense. Okay. No. Though that does make me think of something that Gon said. So Gon said in this last episode that she tries to control, like, the locations that these oddity things happen in, which is, like, why she's, like, trying to control this shrine or whatever, you know? Which made me think, like, I feel like she's doing that to Araragi. Like, is Araragi... What if Araragi is basically a location that oddities happen in? You know what I'm saying? because there just is so much nonsense that happens around him, and that's why Gon kills him, is it not? Because it's like, oh, let me just get rid of the thing at its source, get iced, Omega lol, you know. So in that way, I feel like in the way she tries to control the locations, such as the shrine, in the way she tries to control like the root issues, as kind of said somewhere in here, I feel like she's also, that's why she's focusing on Araragi, because he is the root issues of so much crap, you know. Yeah. But then, okay, so why did the first show up here? Was it literally just random happenstance? But that doesn't, as Gon says, that doesn't absolve Araragi of like all the nonsense going on with him, you know, with like Ogi or whatever, right? But yeah, okay. Anyways. Suggestive code Gon is talking about is actually what she's doing right now, giving Araragi ideas and forging connections in his head. How is that tied to oddities? Well, like, oddities are built off of people and their perceptions, right? They're very like we've seen that as described with Shinobu before. So for Gon to be like giving him ideas and forging connections is like, I think that's, oh yeah, because that's exactly what she does. That's exactly what I mean with the locations thing. In the same way that she tries to control locations and control like the flows of things there and the root cause behind oddities instead of the symptoms, she's giving Araragi certain ideas and discussing with him in certain ways, I think in the same way to get a control over the root cause behind oddities. Like she is manipulating the flows of oddity within Araragi kind of deal. Yeah. So that would be my idea of what's going on there, where she's just trying to manipulate the formation of oddities through Araragi, right? Whether we call that an issue or not, I think that's more just what she's attempting to do. What else would we even do in this situation? I mean, Araragi's a mess, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Okay. This thing I thought was pretty cool. Where we view this first servant thing as a, like, trauma analogy. I think that does work really well. Kind of a hoe for it. This thing where it's like, they visit the past and that unleashes all this nonsense that then is now disrupting, like, the current day. And so Gon, in this case, is, like, almost acting like a confrontational trauma therapy. I really do like that. Especially, like, I think as reflective of trauma, it's very interesting how Shinobu doesn't intend for any of this. Like, she shows up, and they're like, oh, we're just going to explore the past, we're going to do this little Hachikuji thing, whatever. And then completely unexpected, he was there watching, right? So even what seemed to be a not connected thing, what seemed to be not connected jumps in and gets you out of nowhere. In the same way that, like, trauma, like, something so banal, something so, like, mundane, random, insignificant can be, like, the triggering key that, like, awakens the trauma, right? Especially with, like, I don't know, like, I think of, like, repressed memories, or, like, something so random can, like, unlock that for people, right? In the same way that they're just going to the past and it has nothing really to do with the first, but the first is there, and so everything that, like, he is correspondent to, like, all, you know, his relationship with Shinobu, jumps into action, right? So I do think that's a really strong analogy. It is kind of crazy. Shoot, I had an idea for a second. Did I lose it? Shinobu, trauma. I lost it so hard. Okay, it is what it is. GG, it'll come back later. This is so incredibly true, by the way. Okay, listen, I'm just pondering. Is a man not allowed to ponder Hanakawa's, you know? I think a man is allowed to... I think a man is allowed to ponder. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy how I just make one sound right there. It's just it's held for 3 full seconds. I'm pretty sure I paused it too. So, like, I paused and then unpaused just to have an extra second to look at it. Oh, it's so funny. But yeah, that's really true. I think this is true as well. Cool. Let's do a little bit of scroll through. Lock in. Let's do a little bit of scroll through. I have a couple things I actually wanted to say about the first. A lot of this nonsense with the past and with, like, Shinobu gets kind of crazy, but I think we can get some idea of where this is going by just thinking about the first. Because what does the first want? What does the first care about, right? Back in time, back in Shinobu era, or Kiss Shot era, way back in time, right? He was like an oddity hunter. Gon called him a specialist, whatever. He literally killed oddities to like help humans, you know. And so why does Gon then says in this episode, I want to make sure that he's killed before he eats a human being, bro? Why would he want to do that? Like low key, literally, when he spawned in as an oddity, he iced himself. He killed himself because he didn't want to be that, right? And then now in the current day, what does he do? He's feeding on other oddities in order to like gain his strength back or whatever, right? So I almost wonder like would he even eat a human being? Like I feel like that might even be counterintuitive to what he desires, right? He and like I guess he was kind of like energy draining Komburu, but he wasn't trying to like kill her or like, you know, into her or anything like that. So I don't even know how much this is a risk, right? And I know like I'm not gonna expect a specialist to super entrust or like have a lot of trust and faith in an oddity. But I think with this guy specifically, like what I mean, he just wants his sword back, bro. He just wants to pull up with Shinobu and be like, "Yo, make me whole again," right? What is a samurai without his sword, kind of thing. So I don't even know how much this is a risk, right? Obviously, she doesn't care. She's calling episode, and they're ready to pull up and take this guy out. So it's kind of, you know, either way. But in terms of like what's going to happen in this talk between him and Araragi, I kind of feel like he might be like way more chill with it than we expect because of that, right? He do got crazy energy in the way he looks here, right? So there's also the proponent as well of he tried to kill himself, now he's respawned. The oddity Slayer's sword, right? Heartspan or whatever. Could that kill him for real? For real? Maybe. So like maybe he just wants his sword back so that he can like seppuku, right? So he can kill himself, right? And that's kind of a stretch, but I don't know. I mean, if fire doesn't do it, maybe the sword will. It isn't like known as the oddity slayer. So that was another idea. That'd also be kind of funny where it's like the tool of his own creation is the only way for him to be destroyed kind of thing, like making it like entirely internal in that sense would be quite nice there. So yeah, I feel like I mean, because this is the thing, this is happening in the past, like chronologically, this is happening kind of like in the middle or whatever of a lot of our arcs, and this is the first time I've seen this guy. So there's a reasonable chance he doesn't make it out of this arc alive. You know what I'm saying? So I do kind of wonder if he's either going to maybe get killed through the sword or, I don't know, maybe get the sword and then dip, but I don't really see him being like a hungry human killer kind of guy, right? That seems counterintuitive to his entire life before being a vampire and then his immediate reaction to becoming a vampire spawn, right? Where he immediately tried to ice himself. So I find that to be quite interesting. In terms of the rest of this nonsense, I don't know how much more I have to say. I'm very curious what they do with this guy. I quite like his design, right? So I'm intrigued what they do there. Shinobu coping. Homegirl in the director's chair. She really thinks she all that. This line, controlling these locations allows you to prevent undesired developments. I think that's what she's doing with Araragi, as I said. Right? That perhaps is why she's like leading him on with certain trains of thought. In order to like gain that control over him. In order to direct him. Whoa! And maybe he wants to be directed, right? Maybe he doesn't trust himself to go down a certain path in life. So he'll take the directions of the director. Kind of deal. Your kin? That's crazy. He ain't my kin no more. That's what Shinobu says. Shinobu says it's all just me and you. It's all me and you. And then Araki's immediately like, alright, let's focus on something else. Let me go buy some boys love. That was actually so sweet. You see the way he just looks at her though? She says the nicest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You're the only one I have right now? And he just... like my boy, you gotta. And then we just cut to another scene. Like he really wasn't ready to. He really didn't respond to that in a way that was like reflective of that energy, right? And then he immediately brings up his link to her being broken. Immediately. That's kind of crazy, is it not? Yeah. But yeah, I kind of want to see what we do with him. Oh, also the name of this book. Why are you doing that to yourself? What was it? Like the brutal garçon devours the half boy. This looks like Kaiki. This is Kaiki. This is like episode or whatever, right? Half boy though. Aragi's a half boy because he's half man, half vampire. You know, isn't episode that too? So this is literally Kaiki X episode, even in terms of title, right? Because garçon, I looked it up. It's like a French waiter. Does Kaiki give French waiter energy? I think he does. Does he not? Does he not? Yeah. Friggin' MILFs. Okay, anyways. I say we just watch the episode. I kind of just watch a new episode. Episode 12. Wow, second to last. So one more with this arc. I'm very curious what they do with it. Let's get this going though. Do we want to light a little oh my goodness, I don't have my lighter. I can't light my candle. Where's my lighter? Oh, I found it. Let's light my little candle real quick. All right, get the energy correct for our monogatari watching. Yeah, we cozen. Ooh, take a whiff, take a whiff. Fireside flannel div. Whoa. Kaiki might, never mind. All right, never mind. Let's get this going. Wait, what was that? That's my entire, okay, never mind. Let's get this going. Episode 12, should be exciting. Let's get this going in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bye. Where are we? Okay, we're still with him. I was about to say, please don't cut away from him. Thank you. God, he's taking so many pictures. Oh, the footprint. Wow. The footprint clutched. I would kill you? Exactly, that. He's an oddity slayer. Why would he go slay a human? That's what I'm been saying. Kind of reminds me of episode. You know? Which is literally who Gon is hiring. So, like, why kill this guy? We'll see, though. We're having some drinks. We're chilling. Break up? That's crazy, actually, bro. Wait, how is he gonna respond? I feel like low-key, I mean... I almost feel like he's thinking about it, right? Like, no, I don't know about break up, but, like... I think, like, their bond is severed. And we've been toying with the idea that he's not very ecstatic right now about everything that's going on. So, you know. There he is. There's First right there. In the shrine. He's in the shrine watching her. These other things are all the other oddities, right? That'd be interesting there. That he was like chewing on. He was like, in the shrine. Wow, wait, that actually low-key is correct. I'm a genius. I'm the smartest man alive. So why do you want him to break up? Are you trying to get a piece of the kiss shot pie? Have you had a turn of heart after 400 years? Like, what exactly is the intent here, my guy? Oh, thank you. He immediately tells me it. Reconciling. Okay, yeah. That's interesting. I want to get out. I want to get with my girl again. Dang! Wait, this is crazy. Her divine beauty sends shivers down my spine. Oh my goodness, that's so romantic. He's also like looks like Shinobu, like in the same age range, so like there's even a connection there. Can't believe we're having an ex-boyfriend pull up. This is crazy. She only needs one kin. Dang. Okay, he has had that turn of heart. Oh wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Didn't think about that. Anybody could replace you, but nobody can replace me. I was saying this. I was saying that this guy kind of egoist. Wait, he's kind of wait. I love lines like that. He really, I alone am the honored one type behavior. Yeah. He just called you presumptuous. That was rude. He got elf ears too. This kid. What are we about to play basketball for our girl right now? Why are we on a court? Is this a tennis court? Where are we? I did not see the word praise there. That was crazy. My fault. Wow, he's gonna give you a pros and cons list for breaking up with her. He's gonna try to logic it. That is so funny. Analyze your relationship. Mmm. Wow. Yeah. It is dangerous to have them get close to each other, though. We've heard that before. Mmm. You're projecting. Yeah, he's projecting. Okay. You okay? So he's hearing about the time thing, though. He just heard about a time limit. Semi permanently. Yeah, he's saying list the pros. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, good. This guy's good actually. This guy just rebutted so hard. Episode just pulled up. Oh shit. Dang. Just in time. Wait, is Gon gonna be here too, or just episode? True, true. Good. I didn't even think about that. There's poison in there. Is it actually holy water? Hey, bro, that's good. It's been so. Why do you look like that? Dang, episode in the flesh. What's good? Wow. Wow. This is like such a, this is so funny. Two enemies teaming up against one greater enemy. God, it is so scary. What is wrong with you? Why did you do that? Yo, what's up? Naturally. Negotiate. Okay, okay. Wait, he's kind of a menace. He's kind of a menace. To the next level. Now yeah, now it's fight time. Oh, we're scheduling. I mean, are you gonna let him get away to do that later? The footmark. The footmark. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? Oh my goodness, they're reading the exposed. That's why, dude, an episode read the episode fanfic. Bra Donuts book. That's what's in his bag. And she was reading the MILF mag? Dang. Why are Komaru and Shinobu getting freaky together? Ononoki? Who? It is Ononoki. Why are we watching? That's strange, Ononoki. That's strange. This is odd. What are y'all... What's the energy here? Y'all like each other? Okay, she got some respect for Komaru. Okay. Oh, what did you say? What did you say? Which line? Say it. Wow. Dang. Araki, you gonna jump in? Why though, Komaru? Why? Not the right thing to do. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Screw logic. I don't feel like it's... Yeah, I feel like he deserves it. So you should do it. You know what? I mean, fair enough. We like a good emotional reason. He just wants his sword back. Aww. Whoa. Wait, then what is it, bro? Yeah. I was about to say, Araki's listening, so, like, how does he feel about this? Right now? What, are you implying that a later date you won't even call him that? Yeah, what does that mean? Wait, are you a little rat, Shinobu? Why are you acting like a rat? Let's see. She says polygamy? She says threesome? Okay, sorry. Okay, no, wait. We're getting sweet with it. Let's see. You owe it to him to tell him. Yeah. Ooh, good line, actually. No, I liked that. I liked that. Kamuru, wait, why is Kamuru kind of the best? Ooh, 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 ooh. Senjo, that's with Senjo. Yep. Because yeah. Wow, I didn't think about that. That's real. That's real. Monkey girl. Before he dies. Before he's killed by the specialists. Damn. Damn, good line. Yeah, I mean, her being scared isn't logical. I guess it kind of is logical, but like, hmm. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Kombu is cooking. Wait, she's calling it exactly as it is. She has such a good read. Ooh. Damn. Wow. We're not yet on. Whoa! Onodoki's holding her. Yeah, exactly. That's a crazy thing to say. It's kind of crazy because he's kind of cheating on her in the bush with that romantic hand holding, while she's so worried about like the thing with about her with the first kind of doing that to Araragi. Kamru, oh my goodness. She's too based. You consigned him to the past? You'd abandon him too? That's kind of what she implied with that line earlier. Exactly, good line. Damn! Wait, she's so good. That's her admitting defeat there. She just praised her. And it's now she's excusing her behavior instead of defending it. Which is accepting that it's behavior she has, bro. But we have to see them anyway? Oh my goodness. What a good line. It certainly looks like it. Good line. Wait. Damn. And he's holding her hand in the bush. That's a reasonable question. Yeah, that'd be kind of like that's kind of crazy. But you should be something instead of nothing. It's your job to hurt your old partner. Yeah. Then it's your job to kill him. Yeah. Dude. This is actually a Kombudu arc. I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? Out of love, I won't respond. Whoa, what do you mean? Okay, hypothetically doesn't save you there. It's kind of, it's an interesting thing to throw out. Kombudu just bit like 10 bullets in a row. Wow. The foot thing was really a safety stamp. That's just crazy to me. Wait. No, but well, I guess you could do it, but like, are you gonna let Shinobu? Are you gonna do that without letting Shinobu do her thing? What's up, episode? Man, it's just straight chilling here. Yeah, is it gonna be a place from Kizu? That'd be really funny. Where like the two of them fought. That'd be so funny. Let's see though. Oh, okay. Why the high school? Yeah, what? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. She's hidden, slept in the shrine. She did get obliterated. Real. Weren't you hiding over there? Dude, what? Kabuto's actually such a dude. Wait, she's so cracked. Ow, dude. Don't on me. didn't they didn't show me the bra. That's fine. I just it's interesting. True. Yeah, go for it. Real. Do it yourself. do your best. That's not yeah, that is not DIY. It's stupid. Wait. No, but that's different than the advice she gave to Shinobu. That's literally the opposite because she's telling Shinobu to go do it because like she owes it to him, right? And she like owes the situation, right? Like actually deal with the problem. You can't tell a story without saying any words. But if Araragi goes and does it without Shinobu getting to do it, then that hoses the situation. So that's literally Araragi like, bro, no, do your best, not do it yourself. Wait, but dude, Kanbaru, don't say do it yourself. That's not what you want, right? You want Shinobu to go do it. And then Araragi can do it after, but like, you know. Because I'm worried that he's gonna duel the first, win, and then Shinobu's not gonna get to talk to him at all. Right? Which is the opposite of what Kanbaru wants. Bro, for Ononoki and Araragi to be holding hands in the bush while Shinobu's getting reprimanded like that, while Shinobu's saying like, because I mean Kanbaru was making that call out of like, man, my brain. You don't want to like cheat on Araragi, like making it about like faithfulness. She said that, and I think that's true of Shinobu. I think pretty much everything Kanbaru said of Shinobu's accurate, right? She was just acing it. And so for her to be saying that while Araragi is like cheating on her in the bushes with Ononoki is nuts. That's nuts. Man, this episode was cracked. What the heck? So that was holy water. First things first, this was holy water. Right? And he shows up and says, friggin' hilarious. Your link might be broken, but you'd be done for if you drank holy water. You admit this was holy water, right? Look how he is so nefarious. This is the most this is the most nefarious little smirk I've ever seen. We could have skipped a few pages if you had drunk my holy and holy unpoisoned chalice. Wait, my holy as in entirely unpoisoned chalice, but he also calls it holy. So he's saying that his holy chalice is unpoisoned, but to Araragi it would be poison, right? Because it's holy. But he's calling it unpoisoned. That's kind of crazy. I feel like that even makes sense for him, where it's like, even if it's poisonous to Araragi, it itself isn't poison because it's only poisonous to oddities. But that makes it not poisonous because it's not poisonous to a person, right? Where I think he's defining poisoned as not relative to oddities, and so he's giving it to Araragi with the intent to poison, even if it's unpoisoned. I think that's kind of what he's saying there, which I think makes sense with his whole like oddity slaying perspective, or like, you know, he's ready to kill Araragi. God, never do that again. Huh. And now, okay, so Ononoki comes in and says, no, we're gonna watch Yoinkies. Where have you been? You fought off that one guy. Where have you been all day? I do wonder. You're here now. Okay. For Kanbaru to be saying all this, like I said, makes a lot of sense relative to like her with Senjugahara and Araragi, where she is in the position of first to Senjugahara and Araragi. Or she is in first position to Shinobu and Araragi because of her position with Senjugahara to Araragi, right? So, of course, she's gonna, like, sympathize with him, like, so much. And she completely rolls in smoker. Some of her, like, it's crazy. She says, like, it's not logic, and then she completely, like, logically, destroys Shinobu, right? Like, she literally logically reads through Shinobu's motivations. For her actual motive being it's not the right thing to do is kind of, like, not much, but she does give more of a reason later, right? Well, there were so many crazy lines. I kind of almost want to just rewatch this entire thing, like, a little bit. Because I guess she's calling out, like, the way you treat first, and you're treating him now, is scarily reflective of how you could treat Araragi. So as much as you're saying that, like, you're doing this, like, for Araragi, and, like, you don't want to, like, taint your thing with Araragi by comparing it to first, in reality, the way you treat first is, like, tainting how you would treat Araragi. And that's why she brings up the third, the fourth, the fifth, right? That your refusal to treat the first in a proper way is dangerous in viewing your relationship to Araragi, you know? Which is very logical. That is very logical. So it's kind of funny that like she's saying like this isn't logic, this is all emotion, and then she gives an entire thesis. Cuz she's kind of a genius. Right now, is that what you just said? Because that's like the crazy implication she said. The only one I have to call kin right now is your like the only one I have to is Araragi right now. That's implying that in the future you won't have to call Araragi your senpai because you know you're making it about right now. That implies that in the future it'll be different, which is exactly what Kambaru like latches onto and destroys. Because she says she doesn't understand the sentence, and then she completely encapsulates the sentence and its implication. And I didn't like it either. That's a very worrying that's a crazy thing to say, Shinobu. I guess, man, she's kind of getting called out on well, it's crazy because she's been in like 2 relationships. But I guess like not reconciling with the past and how that will damage the present. Whoa. Like, how are you supposed to build something for the future when you can't even solve the past? Damn. The trauma analogy from the comments kind of hit here. Like, how are you supposed to, like, build something productive in the future if you still have unreconciled issues of trauma in the past? Damn. Yeah, all 3 of you to get along. Ooh, and this music was kind of good. Kambaru's different, man. I love Kambaru. And she bit every bullet. That's the most base thing about her, bro. You have to tell him that. This is exactly. And so Araragi, bro, Araragi is actually such a hoe right now. Because he literally overhears Kambaru say, Araragi shouldn't handle this, right? And she even knows he's in the bush. So she's saying this to Shinobu, but she's also willing for Araragi to hear this, right? And then later, when she accidentally says, do it yourself, but really means do your best, right? He is like, oh, that means I should handle this. Like, no, that's literally the opposite of what she wants you to do, but you are misinterpreting. You're like purposefully misconstruing and misinterpreting what she's saying in order to like in order to do it yourself because you want you to do. Araragi, this isn't your battle, bro. I'm with Kambaru on this. Gon, get out of here. I'm with Kambaru. Hanakawa and Kambaru, bro. Anything Hanakawa says, I take as wisdom from the heavens. Anything Kambaru says, I take as wisdom from the earth. Okay. That was crazy. That was a crazy line I just said, by the way, but I stand by it so hard. Bro, I love her position in this. Okay, pause, but like, I'm trying to see what Shinobu's saying. Why the subtitles, please? Okay. Not my relationship with him, Araragi. Not even with my relationship with my current master. She admits that, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about low-key on the Schlee, Zadie. But how it feels to be first and yet still be in second place. Dang. Yeah, and that's super true. Because of Senjo. This really, man, this does feel like a conversation you'd have about an ex, right? Of being like, I don't even know what I'd tell him, right? But she's like, bro, you gotta give him some closure. No matter how it manifests, you owe it to close the case. And just closing, because like, yeah, his case is gonna be closed by being killed pretty soon. I'm willing to bet. So there's almost a question of like what does it matter, right? Like if he's gonna die, then why do this? And I feel like that kind of is alluded to somewhere with what Shinobu says. But Kambaru's still like you still owe it, you know. And that reminds me of that line of like even if even if when you die it goes to zero, that doesn't mean it amounts to zero, or however it went from like earlier, where um it's like, yeah, even if he's dead, that doesn't mean that like it's pointless to like deal with it, you know? I don't know. I feel like there's a connection there. That's sad. This makes me sad. He hates me. Oh no. I don't even know exactly how he feels about her because he was trying to poison Adaraki with the holy water after saying that he was marked by Ononoki and he wasn't going to mess with him. But he was going to try to holy water the guy. I think. I do think he meant that, right? Because it was holy and holy unpoisoned. But it was holy unpoisoned, but it was also holy, which made it poison. So it was poison. So that makes me think like he's saying all this stuff about wanting to meet her and like loving her and blah blah blah. And I kind of took that a little bit at face value, where it's like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of always have a tendency to just believe people and then decide if they're lying later. But like in the immediate moment, I pretty much believe what everyone tells me all the time. Is that a good idea? Perhaps not. Overall, it's worked for me. It's made me very gullible, or appear to be very gullible. When people just say something stupid, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the case. And they'll be like, you believe, why did you believe me? And it's like, oh, the whole trying to figure out if you're lying, that comes later for me. No, I just take it as is. Because when I follow people down their lines of thought, and then I'll decide if you're crazy. But I'm not going to interrupt you and try to like, catch you off and be like, oh wait, you're lying to me. No, I'm just going to believe you. But in doing so, I'm always in a state of non-belief. Okay, I'm getting off track. But yeah, like, he does want his sword back, so there's a pretty good reasoning that he might actually just want to kill Shinobu. But Kambaru is like, and? Nobody cares about logic. Man, like, this is... Unless you see in person, nothing changed. I feel like this is like her talking about her past too, like her parents, like this is such an extreme like outpouring that I can't help but think that like this is so reflective of her past, man. And Numachi, I'm thinking about Numachi again now. Huh. Comedy is kind of great. This is such a goated line. You can't create a story unless you talk. Damn. And you've been beaten, bro. You've been beaten in a dialogue if you resort to physical violence. That's admitting defeat. That's the crazy thing there. You don't want to be emotionally swayed. Like you're scared to hear him out. Which is to say you're scared of yourself, You're scared of how you might act. And so instead of... and that's the crazy thing. You're scared of yourself, and so you're hiding rather than, like, rising up to that fear, And so in that way, you're cheating yourself. You think meeting him would be akin to cheating on Adaraki-senpai? Cut to Adaraki in the bushes holding hands with Ononoki. Dang, and then she's sweating because she knows it's true. Dude, she is cooking. Take your hand off of me, bro. And this is all real. This is all so real. His love is a problem for you? Man, because it's such a good analogy for, like, a relationship, Tell him that he should have stayed in his grave. That's a bit extreme, but like the whole his love is a problem for you, man. Where it's like it doesn't matter because I have something now that I value, and so going with you would put that at risk, and I don't want to do that. That's that really hits. That really hits for me. You're being neither aloof nor noble. You're just bad with people. And to be saying this while she's got her hand on you like that is crazy. Ooh, and now the clouds in the back have stopped. In the last shot, they were sweeping by so fast, but like now they stopped. And then the power dynamic changes where instead of being she's rising up, right? Like it's completely flipped. That little grin there. Oh my goodness, that's real, bro. Dude, that's actually so real, dude. Where like when you're being completely rolled and smoked, I've totally had the impression of like I'm getting rolled and smoked right now, and it's just like, huh, I'm just stupid. I'm losing, you know. It's like that. It's like that one thing of like the dog in the house, and he's like, huh, my the house is on fire. What is it like? I forget how the meme goes. I'm trying to explain the meme to you. No, but like that, just that impression of like I'm completely caught off guard. I'm completely losing. You just can't help but like laugh at yourself. That is so real. I get that all the time. We're all like, I don't know. We're all like fail something, right? I'll get like a horrible grade on something, and I just look at it and I'm like, well, rip bozo, I guess. Like omega lol, I guess I suck, you know. But that like that smirk you get is crazy. And she gets that exact thing where it's just like it's like a mix of like it's like a little dumbfounded, you know, and it's just like dang, like I think it really is like you're so caught off guard that you can't help but smile, you know, because I mean that's part of comedy, you know, where comedy is built a lot in like the unexpected hitting you, and so it's just like oh wow that's crazy, you know, that it's like that same kind of impression coming through where she smiles. It's like damn, I'm getting rolled right now. You don't have the right to build a relationship. This is also based, by the way, this whole who cares about logic thing, because that's the thing with I think with Araragi. I think that's a like Araragi's justice thing falling apart, blah blah blah. His like his doom spiral through deconstruction or whatever. I think that's largely built off of logic, right? Where he's using logic as a tool to tear himself apart. Is that true? I think that might be true. My gut impression is that's true, but I'm not sure if how I could defend that point. Um, hmm. The funny thing is, by me verbalizing my doubt of my own point, I've pretty much like ruined it, like low key, you know. Or if I just said it and then didn't defend it, but also like pretended that I was confident about it, then I'm sure most people would take it as being way more persuasive, you know. Crazy how that works, right? Doesn't matter what you say, it's how you say it. Real. Um, Either way though, like so for Kombu, let's say that's true. I'm kind of trying to figure out because my issue there is I think I'm projecting a little bit where I whenever I've deconstructed myself and like my identity, that's a logical exercise, right? It's built on introspection, and introspection is a like I'm piecing myself down, right? And my slight concern is I'm worried that I'm projecting onto Araragi in that instance where because like for me introspection is very much based off of logic where it's like I'm feeling these things, I'm going through these experiences, I have these certain concepts, let me break them down and try to understand them piece by piece, and then figure out how they connect, right? It's very methodical in that way, and I don't know if that's how it works for everybody. I think that's how it works for most people. I think that's how it would work for Araragi, but I'm actually not sure, right? Is introspection always a logical exercise, or could it be like fully emotional? I think it's introspective. I would almost want, or it's logical. I would almost want to say it is logical, but I'm not entirely sure. But going off the assumption that it is that logical kind of exercise, then with I really do like Komburu's perspective, Komburu's perspective here, where it's not about logic, like F logic, right? Like you don't have the right to do these things, and it's like she doesn't even. The crazy thing is by letting go of logic like that, you don't even have to defend your position as much anymore, because it's just you're just kind of brute forcing it. Where it's like I don't need to defend myself. I have this thing, and I'm gonna hit you with it until you believe me, you know. And it works. It works on Shinobu. And that's been how I try to think nowadays, right? Because I'll go into like little tangent for a moment, because this is where like Monogatari connects with me really well. Is I've gone through a lot of like introspection that's led to like, you know, self identity breaking apart, like all sorts of stuff, right? And overall, I think it negative, right? Like it can be very dangerous to introspect too much. I think, right? To the point where like it all starts to like fall apart. That doom spiral of deconstruction, if you want to call it that, right? And so a kind of new turn in personal philosophy for me, in my personal philosophy of like how I maneuver through life, has been a lot less about logic and more been about just boom, right? More about like just doing things and being things, right? As opposed to deciphering and steel manning or proofing things, right? Where it's just it is, right? And so that kind of is what Kambaru's doing, right? Where it's like it's like you don't have the right to these things. And it's like if you actually, because if you go into like crazy definition territory and start breaking it all down, define right. What you have the right to neither slave nor master. It's like, does anyone have the right to anything? You know, like if you really push things like linguistically or throw any conceptions far enough, you will hit a breaking point for pretty much anything, right? And so that's why you just don't push things to a breaking point. Because why would you do that, right? Instead of logicking yourself into holes, instead of running away through logic of like, oh, I'm scared or whatever, I have all these good reasons, just do it. Omega lol. It's F it we ball. It's like an F it we ball philosophy. And F it we ball applies to Kambaru because she's a basketball player. Oh my goodness. It's all connected. Monogatari does it again. And she does her little like caca thing. And then Ononoki's ready to step in here, but Araragi doesn't move. Dang, actually, this was such a good segment. Araragi, you little rat. Because we know that, like, Ononoki and Shinobu got that back and forth, like, thing, right? That bad blood. So, for him to be interlaced fingered holding Ononoki here for, like, comfort, right? While watching this, man, it's like, he probably, how much of this is he applying to himself here? You don't have the right to build a relationship because you're, like, running away from all these things using logic. I wonder if he feels that this is true for himself, too. And that's why he holds on to Ononoki for comfort. And stays, like, in the shadow, right? Dang. Let's see. This is getting ugly. Still. She desperately tries to get some control back. Be like, I'll just murder you. Okay, you might be right, but you'll be dead. And Kambaru says, F it, we ball. Do it. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Do it. Ruin your relationship with Araragi. Dang! And then she immediately is like, yeah, like if you ruin everything, guess what? You just abandon him. Like you did with the first. Omega lol. She, like, dude, she is such an argumentator, bro. She's like a lawyer. She's literally just, Shinobu says one line, and then she completely flips it on his head, and then stabs Shinobu with it. Ancient Fairy Tale hits so hard, too, because that's literally how we were introduced to the first. It was like that mural, you know? You'll throw away the second like you threw away the first. So if you, exactly, and so if you don't treat the first right, how are you ever going to treat the second right? Dang. Just keep breaking up forever. Man, it's crazy because it's, Shinobu I've always associated with the term of like a broken person or like a wound, you know, from Kizu. And so Kambaru here is saying like, you're just going to keep wounding people over and over. You're going to keep causing damage like that, as opposed to going back and healing, going back and reconciling, right? Which then it goes from being a wound to, I don't know, a scar or just completely healed, right? So it almost feels like she's calling Shinobu out on that phrase, that really powerful phrase at the end of Kizu. Because, yeah, and she's calling her out saying that if Araragi died, you wouldn't die for him. You would just tell the third, bro. You just tell the third that you would die for them, bro. I was going to say him, but what if the third is actually a woman? Whoa, Shinobu get a woman slave? Real. That's just crazy, bro. Because yeah, even and the crazy thing is like even if Shinobu means it when she says it, like she wanted like I'm thinking back to Kizu where like she as much as she wanted to die, she still desperately thrashed for survival at the last moment, and that's where she met Araragi, right? And so even if she means it, she'll still desperately try to live, kind of deal. And this right here, where she says, not everyone is as sociable as you, this is her saying, everything you've told me is correct. I'm not as sociable. I lack that skill. She admits that she's lacking and that she has fault there. But she does it in a roundabout way, where instead of saying, I lack being social, I lack that sociableness, right? I lack the people skills to do this. She says, not everyone is as sociable as you are. Like, can you expect this out of me? You know? She's still kind of defending herself, but it's completely taken a different route. Like, and that's why I said like excuse rather than defend. Where she instead of trying to defend her position, now she's trying to excuse her position, which is to say that she's accepting that as her position, which is crazy. I love how the discussion turned there, right? Like you can feel the beat of the conversation as the show. This is what the show does so well, right? Like, you know, it starts. We start with the fight. You know, and Kambaru's on the back pedal. She's the one sweating. But then it changes when these, like, cheating lines get thrown out. Right? And Shinobu's now the one sweating. And then Kambaru gets up. Right? She's no longer in the completely submissive position. Pause. And then Shinobu makes a desperate last bid for power. She doesn't back down. And then Shinobu accepts it through that line that I just pointed out, right? And makes it, and then it's completely like gone from an argument about the situation to like a talk, right? Like it's changed there. So good. I love a good conversation. Man, conversation is crazy in this show. This might be, man, there's so many different things to like pull out of the show. Just watching how they do like a good conversation is so good. Like whenever they have a good one, they have a really good one, right? Following the line all the way down is crazy. So just watching, because there's so much you can pull out. I think that, and then the like random super deep cuts to like how people live life and like perspective and stuff with like Tsubasa Tiger or whatever. Those are like my two favorite things about this show. Because you can get into a lot of like crazy stuff, you know, about like crazy interpretive work, and that's cool, and I like it. But the very random gut punches to like the human condition, you know, the gut punches to, you know, being afraid to confront your past and how that will doom your future, you know, and lack of committal, and even if you meet it, you won't actually follow through, and all that kind of stuff. I think is what's I've found most valuable from this show, you know, and them doing it through these like very complicated and dynamic conversations is so exceptional, right? And that eye open, right? She accepts it. Boom, the lighting keeps changing. It's so good. You called me shy earlier. Yeah, she's saying it's natural, you know? Like am I really at fault for that? Man, good line. Some people don't see eye to eye, but we have to see them anyway. Averting your eyes 101, bro. Shinobu's trying to avert her eyes, and Kambaru's saying you gotta look at him. Sam. I'm not people. Perhaps it certainly looks like it. I still go treat you like one. But telling him that is what's important, right? I mean, it's crazy. She says, I have nothing to say to him, and then explains it in such detail that it's like, bro, you got a lot to say. And I know you don't want to say it to him, but, like, this shows how much is going on there. It's interesting too that Ononoki was ready to jump in right before, like, they did push through, you know. Man, Araragi's kind of a rat, bro. The way he's holding on to Ononoki here. Wait, he's kind of the worst. Isn't he kind of the worst? I feel like this moment for me was like, wait a second, he actually sucks. Like, you know, he's my boy Araragi, right? But like, how many people do you hurt when you're spiraling into yourself, you know? Dude, that's actually so true. How many people do you hurt when you're spiraling into yourself? Yeah, where it's like, hmm. Yes. Be cruel. Just be. Sam! This is a good line too. Do you want to be both a good person and loved by others? Because she's almost saying that, like, to be a good person and to do this is to not be loved by others. Like, you have to hurt people in order to be a good person. Whoa. You have to hurt people. If you are loved by everybody, then you are not being a good person. Like, these two things are not synonymous. That sometimes to be a good person, you have to not be loved by everybody. Or be loved by others. Huh. Sometimes the right thing to do is to hurt people. Real. That's why I hurt people constantly. Anyways. Hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. Things should be smashed before they fade. That's a good analogy. Huh. She's saying that they should be taken action upon before they fade. Whether it be smashing or not depends on what you do with it. But it is about closure, I think. Which is, wow, I mean, that fits really well into, like, Suruga Monkey. Like, the whole, like, built-up resentment towards, like, Senjo, or towards Araragi, right? Where the move is to not just have it build up and act like everything's fine or whatever. The move is to deal with it, right? To confront the reality. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it parallels Kambadu's character so, or like this coming from Kambadu's character works so well. Then kill him. Your job is to put him down. It's crazy though. Araragi's gonna take this upon himself and ruin it. Because he wants to be the hero for Shinobu or whatever. Yeah. This part was so good. And the bullet biting. I'm a hoe for a good bullet bite. Where it's like, yeah, you're fine with this? Here's a bunch of issues with your argument. And I'm like, they're not issues. I accept them. It's just based. It's so based. Dude, I dare you. I dare you. Take my head off. I dare you. Yeah. And then, like, break up with Araragi. This line right here. Like, just be honest with yourself, you know? Properly. Do it properly. Dang. Dang. Why? Dude, every once in a while, I feel like, man, I gotta get some payoff on Araragi's character, man. Because we keep coming in with these random moments that are like... because I'm always playing with the tier list in my head, and this just jumped up Oshino and Komburu so much that it's like, dang, Araragi, where are your moves? Araragi, you gotta give me some moves right now. You're a problem creator, alright? You have a bunch of issues. Give me some payoff, dog. Instead of just doing this, like, I want to try this duel thing. Bro, you're literally making the worst moves. He even says, I want to try this duel thing, and then goes to Komburu and is like, give me some advice. When he's already resolved to do the duel thing, after this entire emotional Pog moment, all about how Shinobu should do it. And he's like, no, I should do it. You're a rat. That's your first response? Did you not hear a word that was said? Araragi, that is such a bad move. His first response is, "I'm gonna do it instead." Is it because you're worried that you're gonna get replaced by that last hypothetical? Did that bother you? And so you were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna risk that. I'm not gonna risk that." You little rat. I want to try this duel thing. What was up with the foot stamp again? He said something about that earlier. Can I just get that? Her divine beauty sends shivers down my spine. Because I could see him trying to kill Araragi, the first trying to kill Araragi as a move to get with Shinobu, but I could also see it as a oddity slaying move, you know? Yeah. And then give me the foot line. I didn't really fully understand the whole stamp thing. Let's see. Right here? No. Oddities shouldn't meddle in the fights between their slaves. Two men fighting over the same woman. True. He drinks from some of his water, some of his Sprite. Give me the foot thing. Give me the feet thing. Pause. Where's the... Okay, I'm actually gonna go ballistic. Oh, it was in the beginning. Right here. Okay, boom. Got it. So, how do you... Things kind of changed, but I won't ignore the mark of someone else in my trade. Oh, the Oninoki thing is the mark. The specialist mark, basically. This is my prey, so hands off. That's what the mark on your face means. It's my prey, so hands off. Because it's kind of set, bro. That's like kind of a message to Shinobu, and also I guess to now him here, but also it is what gives him the mark of safety, right? He do be a samurai. He do got some honor. He also I would never let a vampire live. It's funny because Araragi's still kind of coping with the whole like, oh, I'm part human, I can go back kind of thing, you know. But he is not having it, and he also kind of like can back that up because he, as a vampire, immediately tried to like off himself. I'm glad a little girl stepped on my face. Is that what you just said? I'm glad a little girl stepped on my face after all. That's crazy. This is such a beautiful locale. Little bush area. I want to go in the bush area. I love the bushes. Episode pulling up was funny too. Did that rip your shirt even more? No, it didn't. We're probably gonna see him. So Araragi still hasn't pulled up with Tsubasa Tiger yet, I don't think. I think that's tonight. So he's probably gonna get in the fight. He's gonna get in the fight because Tsubasa Tiger, he pulls up even more torn up, and with the sword. Wait, but how does he get the sword? Shinobu has the sword. So is he gonna get the sword from Shinobu, and then kill Minion, and then go help Tsubasa Tiger? Because he has the sword and he's more torn up in Tsubasa Tiger. So he definitely gets in the fight, but where does he get the sword? Because that leads me then to believe that, like, he's got to get it from Shinobu, which either means that he, like, steals it from her. I don't see that happening. Or that, like, perhaps he pulls up to duel first, is losing, Shinobu gives him the sword, he wins. And then there's a moment that Shinobu and first get to talk very briefly before Araragi finishes it. Something like that. Yeah. Con, you're so scary sometimes. Housewife photo studio. Housewife drool emoji. Don't get the wrong idea. Do you know what's crazy about that? He says don't get the wrong idea. He literally bought those. Part of the cope he was putting out was, I don't want to be viewed as a lolicon, so I'm going to buy these, and I'm going to buy the MILF thing, and it's going to, like, make me not look like that. But then as soon as somebody, like, looks at them, he's like, wait, don't get the wrong idea. It's like, what persona do you want to put out, bro? But I also understand they're literally those characters, like, built off of those characters, so, like, of course he's going to view it that way. Or, like, him saying that's very reasonable in that way. Dang. This segment, though, was so good. This part, these 10 minutes were fire. That was a fire 10 minutes. But yeah, I guess we're going to pull up to the school. Throw hands there. Araragi is just not listening to Kombaru at all. Kombaru is the GOAT. I love Kombaru. He's like, I'm just going to do it myself. That is cringe, Araragi. That is cringe. See how he's not even going to Shinobu? She's literally chilling in the shrine. Like, coping. Or, like, not coping, but, like, you know. Just came out of that pout and go to sleep. Pouting. So she's literally sleeping in the shrine, and he's off to go duel. Like no, go, like, how about Shinobu, bro? Like, go communicate with Shinobu, bro. But no, he doesn't want to deal with that. He just wants to go get rid of first that he gets. So what? He still gets Shinobu to be his own? Like, he still has that claim or whatever? What is your motivation to do that? Probably to keep Shinobu, but also, I feel like he wants to keep her, but also somewhat keep her at an arm's length. Am I wrong? Yeah, I feel like he wants to keep her, but also keep her at an arm's length. So he doesn't want to, this idea of breaking up with Araragi, he's like, that, because that's literally the last thing they say. And then he's like, I'm going to go do the duel. So he doesn't even want, like, in the same way, like, she's worried about how she'll feel when she talks to him. He's worried about how she'll feel when she talks to him. So he's going to pull up and stop her from even being able to talk to him by going and doing the duel and killing him, so that she will never have to deal with that, and there will never be the risk of how she'll feel, which could be dropping Araragi, kicking him to the curb, you know? So is it a feeling of replaceability? Which is crazy, because in the beginning, he says that it's unsightly, or that it's presumptuous to imagine yourself as irreplaceable. But then down the line, when he's confronted with the idea that somebody could replace him, that Shinobu could actually break up with him and go back to this guy, then he's like, dang, I don't want that to happen. Anybody could replace you. Maybe it's because anybody could replace him that he's so desperate to stop that from happening, whereas this guy's confident that nobody can replace me. So he wouldn't even have to, like, stop it from happening, because it wouldn't happen. So accepting that you're replaceable gives you motive to limit how replaceable you are. Okay. We're cooking. I am special, you see. He's literally me. I'm the chosen human. He's literally me. It's funny, you say that, you're a vampire. I'm the chosen human, you're a vampire. You're kind of crazy. I wish I had a chance to say them. Yeah, because it's just, like, the guy then literally goes and ensures that he, like, is ready to duel. They're too presumptuous for me. I almost feel like he's grandstanding. Is he a grandstander? This guy really looked at him like, really? Really, Araragi? And then he's like, bruh. This guy really hit him with the really Araragi stare. That's crazy. It's true, though. That's what I hit him with. Dang. I think that might be all for this one, though. Episode. I'm glad to see episode again. Shout out my boy episode. Really good episode. One of the best episodes in the last couple. I think the best episode of this arc. Not of Owari as a whole, I wouldn't dare say, but of this arc for sure. Very excited to see how this ends. And it's going to be Araragi. I think, as I said earlier, the whole, like, Araragi fights him. Shinobu pulls up with the sword last second, maybe gets a word in, and then, or like a few words in, and then he kills her, or then Araragi kills first. I could see that being the case with the sword, with the Oddity Slayer, because I think without the Oddity Slayer, like, that's not going to happen. And then he has Oddity Slayer when he pulls up in the Tsubasa Tiger. There could also be a situation where Shinobu pulls up with Araragi with the Oddity Slayer for some reason. That isn't even just to give it to Araragi, and then Araragi obtains it. Like, what if she was like, yo, you can have this back first. Like, I'm done. I don't need it anymore. And then Araragi's like, oh, cool, a sword. You're dead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know exactly how Shinobu will respond to that. That's even something that she doesn't know how she'll respond to. Like, pulling up to first. So that could, how the sword will come into play. Could, there's a couple different variations there. But man, it's crazy. A lot of the things that are being addressed here are things I was talking about a few episodes ago of like Araragi being replaceable. That's literally what this beginning thing is all about. So basically I'm cooking. Am I not? Praise me. Praise me. Nah, but man, I want to go back and see what I was saying so I can remember the context of me saying them, like in like these earlier episodes. Because I was talking about that with first showing up of like, dang, and then also like the breakdown in Araragi and Shinobu's relationship, which had to like maybe do with that whole like resentment idea. I mean, it feels kind of applicable here, where their relationship is literally like the ex-boyfriend is coming back to steal back Shinobu. Is the thing, right? Is the situation, is the trope. That's the word I was looking for. So those feelings of replaceability and the relationship falling apart and the link between them being broken, that state of flux that I've been talking about is super at play right now. So I'm very excited to see how that'll end. But yeah, honestly, that'll do it for this one, episode 12 of Owarimonogatari. On to the next, the finale, episode 13. Holy crap, I hope I feel better by the time I watch the next one. Because your boy do be feeling gross. It's crazy. I'll be like saying something, and then my brain will just be like, and just stop. It'll be like, oh, cool. Okay, that thought's gone. It happened like 10 times, bro. Is what it is. On to the next episode 13. Should be exciting. Of course. If you like the video, really does help me out. Let me know in the comments down below if you have anything to say. Do appreciate that. As always, join the Discord as well if you like Monogatari and want to talk to other Monogatari fans. But until then, until next episode 13, the finale. That's every night. I'll be seeing you then. Peace.